to distill down to the things that we thought were, you know, the most important, okay? But they really are placed, in a sense, temporarily, because we could continue working on this and move different pieces to different places. So that's what I was trying to get the idea. The elements are there. We have packaged them into these 4 core components. Keep the elements, but you might end up, you know, shifting, taking one piece and putting it over, you know, as part of another core. Or you
But you don't want that all to happen in one course. Somebody will just decide, oh, well, they can do all that in one course and put it together and it's over.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That's why
That's why you added
I
that.
agree with you.
half the program is this stuff.
And I think you don't want to put credits, because I think we also, I recall that we don't want to only think just in terms of those 3, you know, the traditional 3 credit courses. Because maybe something could be 2 credits, or maybe we don't want to do credits, it's competencies, you know, because there are programs that don't have quote credits, it's competencies. So I think that's helpful. And then I also see that we don't want to put the total number of credits, because if we're developing a core for like the licensure program, it might be that that particular track might need a few more credits, you know, because there may be an administrative practicum, or, you know. So I think that we're okay with not including the number of credits, just because we...
Well, definitely, I think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, we're thinking 30, but I don't know if we want to put that down, because then that boxes us in again, you know, so...
If we took out that right after 4 core components, delete that would be outcomes, and just have it read, the leadership program should be developed around the elements identified in the following 4 components required of all participants in the program and could comprise approximately half of the program.
What I have about here is turning that into two sentences.
Okay.
The first sentence, the leadership program should be developed around the elements that are identified in the following 4 components, period.
Okay.
These core components should comprise approximately 1/2 of the program, period.
But you're missing the meaning of that these, yeah, well, the idea that these are essential skills that everyone should have.
How am I missing that, Karen?
You didn't use the word required of all participants.
Did you use the word required?
No.
Maybe I missed it.
Say that.
I didn't think
I
so.
got the last sentence is these core components should comprise approximately 1/2 of the program.
What if you had these required core components?
Yeah.
I think to convey the idea that this is
This is it.
the basement, if you will. This is our foundation, and these are the things that are critical.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Read that.
These required.
These required core components
Should comprise approximately 1/2 of the program.
And I like the word should too.
Right.
Just removes all that outcome participants out of the way. So,
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Read it back to us, Roger.
The leadership program should be developed around the elements identified in the following 4 components.
Components, yeah.
These required core components should comprise approximately 1/2 of the program.
No, should. Oh, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah.
These required core components, I wasn't.
Following 4. These outcomes should be required.
These required core components, that's what it would be.
should.
Should comprise approximately 1/2 of the program.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. To me, I don't know how to say it. I like taking the core out of the first sentence and saying it should be comprised around these 4 components. And in some way, by saying core, we're saying that these are constituting, or these are what the program is constituting for. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, regardless of whatever track you go in, you will
Yeah.
have these core, that core base of knowledge, for lack of a better word. And so no one's going to get out of the program without this core base of knowledge. Not even you, man.
No, not me. I did not do that. Yeah.
Okay, are we okay with 4 then?
Yeah, let's move to 6.
All right.
Well, can I just ask one more question then? And again, just, if you could give me just a short answer. On contextual understanding, I know what it means, but I'm not sure what it means. The word understanding, again, is sort of that generic, something, and I'm just wondering if you can spaz that up a little bit. Models of leadership, contextual, is that sort of where you're looking at the ability to have experiential learning opportunities? Or
You have to look at the map,
Yeah, it was,
and
I
I have
can't read
math,
mine,
but I
but
just-
where is it in?
it was trying to capture all those elements of know your context.
Right.
And your context is internal and external, varied. There's a lot of influences to that context.
Did conflict management, was that under there?
Mhm.
Did we leave,
Actually, we have it in two places.
did we have the EDI? We had the EDI under there at one time, is
Yep.
it still there?
Yep.
Okay.
How about, just,
Actually, I could put it up on,
can we just add contextual understanding of leadership? I mean,
Is there
leadership?
another word for leadership? You guys are good smithers for words. Is there, or excuse me, for understanding?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find, because the context is the
Is
context.
important. It's the understanding part that just contextual.
Hmm.
would be- Knowledge, comprehension.
I don't know, I read that, contextual understanding, I just read that, and I say to myself, you just knowing about leadership within the appropriate context. That's what it's saying to me.
It does
So,
me too.
But,
I'm just wondering if there's another word other than understanding.
yeah,
If not, so be it. It just sort of, as I said, sort of generic, you know what I mean, kind of, it's just, and usually Dwight comes up with all these fancy words, so it's just challenging.
you
us
want a
thinking
fancy
on this.
word guy there?
My thought would be make it even simpler, like know your context.
Contextual knowledge. No, and we're not going to have to spend a lot of time, but I do think that that's one word that kind of
Okay.
is bland, and I keep wanting this program to be so distinctive.
Well, we use the word in the first few bullets, we use some form of leader. You know, leader, leader, and then we have contextual understanding, so it seems like we're missing of
Or
something.
Contextual leadership.
You know, or, yeah, or, you know, well, we can just think about it, yeah.
Yeah, let's just.
Well, that's what contextual leadership would say the same thing to me, leadership within the appropriate context.
Context and knowing your context.
Yeah.
But I think contextual leadership sounds more sophisticated, if you will, more than contextual understanding. I don't know why. Or just maybe think about it. Like you said, sometimes you don't have to.
Maybe just in parentheses, why don't you just put, for your notes, rather, just put contextual understanding and next to it, maybe just leadership for the time being or something.
Think about those words.
You guys make,
contextual leadership?
you guys make Dwight mad.
I think he's going to look something up. I'm looking up.
Is that on tape?
He's going to his
Yeah.
thesaurus.
No, that's fine.
Dwight left the room.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so number 6 then.
That one I like.
Now, what I did was, we didn't, that's one area where we talked about the
A
idea,
lot about it, yeah,
but we didn't talk about the specifics.
right.
And I just added the specifics in there
I think it's,
as
I really like
examples.
that.
That's, you know, there are multiple models of adult learners, but
I wondered about the second bullet in terms of social welfare as a source of motivation. When I think of social welfare, I think of welfare programs.
actually, it's more social relations, the social contact.
But you already have that up there. That's why I'm sort of wondering whether you have social relationships.
Oh, social welfare is